Opening pack after pack. Welcome to my channel where I open TCG packs for you, and this is a Commander showcase today. This is Bilbo, Birthday Celebrant, a white, black, green Commander deck focused on Lifegain. The Commander helps you with a Lifegain and has an ultimate ability, which is basically an alternate win condition. I've sorted the deck's cards into types and would like to go through on each type for you and explaining what is what. So I put the first creature, Celestial Unicorn, here because basically this was the card which inspired this deck. It was in a mono-white pauper deck, and my son said that he would like to see this in a Commander deck. And that's what when we started to find or search for Bilbo and then build a whole Lifegain deck. So apart from Celestial Unicorn, we have a few very similar creature cards which does the same. Trellasra, she also scries, and then we have a Janice Pridemate, and then we have this Blood Researcher which has Menace, very interesting. And then the next one is a bit of upgrade, Exemplar of Light, which is flying and also gives you a card each turn, pretty nice. Voice of the Blessed, very similar. When you gain life, it gets a 1/1 counter, but then also it has further abilities. Flying, Vigilance, and Indestructible eventually. And then from Unicorn to Unicorn, this is probably the crown unicorn in this deck, because it doesn't give 1/1 counters only itself, but to all of your other creatures. And then we've got to the creatures which gain you life. So there are a lot of similar creatures to this, which whenever another creature you control enters, you gain 1 life. This means that this deck is quite heavily creature focused. Yeah, same ability again. And then this is for all players. And then one more. This is a dual face card, so I need to take it out from the sleeve. You gain life when a creature enters, and then it can disturb, so come back from the graveyard on the other side. And in that case, when a creature leaves the battlefield on your side, you get a life. We still have some more of these. Creature enters, you gain 1 life. This is as well, but this is a showcase card, and this shows that I really like showcase arts in all of my decks. One more, this is a Flying Angel, another one, and then this is similar on landfall, you gain a life every single time, and then this one is a little bit of an upgrade. When you gain life, you gain twice that much. And then Dina, Soul Steeper, is the combo piece or finisher piece, because it says whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. So when you can play the ultimate on Bilbo having 111 life and getting out all of your creatures from your library, then all of those ones which gives you a life when a creature enters come in at the same time with Dina, and each opponent will lose extremely lot of life. And then this one is like a supportive character with a vigilance and attack. You gain life on white creatures attacking. How many white creatures have you seen? Quite so much. This one is a big threat. Lifelink hexproof from instance, and when your life total is greater than your starter, you get a lot of buff. Useful. This is a recent addition, Final Fantasy set, and it can recurve creatures from your graveyard, either to your hand or to your battlefield. It's not so hard to trigger 7 or more life gained in 1 turn, this deck. And then this is another one of recursion, and it also makes your opponents sacrifice a creature. This is a very strong one. This is support card, lets you cast creatures from top of the library, so basically this is a draw spell. And then another one, when you get a small creature, you can draw a card. It's important to have card draw in the deck. Similarly here, gain life, you may pay 2 to draw a card. And then this is land search, so like a little bit of ramp on a creature. And then another one which lets you draw cards. And then this one, which is a graveyard hate, and then also give you life and grows up to a big threat. And then this one for food tokens or treasure tokens, so kind of a ramp. And then some mana dorks. And then this one is one of the big threats in the deck. The 7 mana 7/7, and it has lifelink and ward and first strike and trample, so lots of good stuff which is relevant in this deck. And I left 3 creatures at the back. Both of them are dual face cards and has a land on the other side. A white, a green, and a black, so each of the deck's colors. Oh, that's an instant, not even a creature. Sorry, that went to the wrong place. So yeah, these are useful creatures for life gain and disruption to the opponents. but then can be played as a land on the other side. Quickly show you one of them. Yes, oops. And back to the sleeve. This one is an instant. Sorry, in the wrong place, but this can save your creature or otherwise play as a land. Okay, put it back to the instance, to the right place. So the next one I would like to talk about are the lands. As you can see, there are some basic lands here. This is pretty budget land base, but it's now quite refined, so plays well. And also, as you can see, I am quite much into full art cards. So all of the basic lands I use are full arts. There are not too many tapped lands in this deck, but these ones are pretty nice because they gain you life. So there is one in each color combination of the deck. And then Radiant Fountain gains you 2 life when you play it. And then this one is a tapped fetch land, can get some basics. And then this is a land removal, but also a fetch land. Also, can you fix your colors? That's why I'm running it here. And then this one has basic land cycling, so also can fix your color and get you the missing one. I have 3 of these bounce lands. They are good as card draw, because basically you get back a land into your hand, also color fixing, and also if you play those MDFCs I already showed you, you can bounce them back to your hand and play them as a spell later. This is the only tri-land in this deck, and this is a very nice forest, so it can be fetched by spells which fetch forests, and it's still a tri-land, 3 colors. Then I have various conditional 2-color, dual-color lands, which are very cheap, but makes the deck work, having to assess all of the colors without spending a fortune on lands. And then we have Temple of the False God, which is kind of a ramp to colorless pips. Meteor Crater is one of the 5-color lands in this deck. Yeah, it's conditional, but it usually works. Exotic Orchard, everyone knows this. And then obviously a Common Tower. And then for last, we have an adventure land, Zanarkand Ancient Metropolis, which is tapped, but on the other side, it's a big strat in the late game. There's one Planeswalker in this deck, a Jani. It's not exactly synergizing with the deck, but if you can ultimate it, that's another alternate win con. Getting X to 2 white cats, where X is your life total. So like getting 50 cats is quite a big bad stuff. Then let's go to the instance. We've seen the Malaki Rebels. And then we have some staple cheap removal. As I said, this deck is all about creatures. So there are not too many interaction, but we just packed a few one at least. So Pass to Exile, Snakeskin Whale, 1/1 counter and Hexproof, so a protection spell. And then Divine Resilience, which can protect one or all of your creatures based on the kicker cost you pay. And then Fake Your Death is another one which saves your commander or any other important creature and gives you a treasure as well. Biosynthetic Burst, again, protection spell. Pledge of Unity, and the next 3 or 4 cards is all about interaction which based on life gain or gains you life. Infuse with Vitality. Again, you gain 2 life and then save your creature. And the Mortality Spear is cheaper when you gain life this turn, so it's pretty obvious in this deck. And then this is a big interaction, Heliod's Intervention. It can either get rid of artifacts or enchantments, or gain you some very useful life. Go to Sorceries. Most of the Sorceries here are ramp, like this Rampant Growth, and Cultivate, Nature's Lore, which can fetch that Tri-land Forest I spoke about earlier, and then Bushwhack, which is also removal if you want to use the fight option on it. Fumigate is a board wipe, and look, it has life gain on it. And then there is one more big board wipe, Oster Command, which can get rid of artifacts, enchantments, and many creatures. And finally, the last sorcery is a finisher spell and life gain spell, Exsanguinate. Either it wins you the game immediately as killing every opponent in the late game, or just giving you that much life, which with your commander and other options here can get you 111 quite soon and easy. Artifacts is again some staples here like Soaring and Arcane Signet and the Mindstone. It also has card draw in the late game. And then Pristine Talisman, which is only giving you 1 colorless mana, but a life every single time. It can adapt. Lightning Greaves and Swiftwood Roots. It's not really for the haste, but for the protection. And then two really interesting old artifacts, Angel's Feather and Worm's Tooth. Whenever a player casts a white spell, and that's a green spell, you may gain 1 life. It's good in this deck, and usually white and green is often played by other players as well, so you can gain life in other players' turns as well. And then Well of the Lost Dreams is a very strong draw artifact in this deck. You gain life, you pay mana, and get that many cards. It's just absolutely good to restock your hand. And then finally we have our enchantments here. Outer-Rooted Consus gives you life and then slows down the opponents. Pretty useful. Cleric class, it gives you life, 1 more each time, similar ability as the commander, and then a 1/1 counter every time you gain a life, and then you can recurse a creature from the graveyard. Druid class, similarly, gain new life on landfall. You can play additional lands and make a land a creature as a threat. Phyrexian Arena, it's a draw spell, a draw enchantment, and basically that losing 1 life is not a problem in this deck at all. And finally, the last card is a very strong enchantment, giving you creatures, counters, and life on different options. If you can play this and it sticks on the board, it gives you so much value. So that is Bilbo. Where is the commander? Here. What do you think about this deck? Do you like a Lifegain deck headed up by Bilbo? The list, the entire list of the deck is on my Mox field. I will put it into the description. I would appreciate if you could leave a comment on this video, like it, and if you enjoy this content and if you enjoy TCG openings, please subscribe. Thank you.